It starts the same way almost every time. A Toyota owner goes in for something routine. An oil change. A transmission service they were told is due. Nothing feels wrong when they pull in. No warning lights, no slipping, no noises. Just maintenance. A RAV4 owner in Texas learned that lesson the hard way. He was charged just over $2,000 for a transmission flush at a Toyota service center. He trusted the recommendation. It sounded official. The paperwork looked legitimate. What no one told him was that his RAV4 had a sealed transmission, a unit Toyota never intended to be flushed the way older designs were. Not long after that service, the shift quality changed. Then came slipping, then hesitation. When he pushed back, the warranty conversation got uncomfortable. The service center pointed to possible contamination and driving conditions. In plain terms, the transmission life was shortened by the very service that was supposed to protect it. Stories like that aren't rare anymore. I see versions of them constantly. Quiet ones, too. Owners don't always complain online. They just pay, feel uneasy, and move on. Every year in the US, drivers lose billions to unnecessary or misleading service work. Not because Toyotas are fragile, but because trust gets exploited. If you own a Toyota and you've ever walked out of a service department feeling unsure or wondered later whether you really needed what you paid for, you're not alone. And if that's you, pause for a second, tap like, subscribe, and tell me what you drive. I see every comment, and a lot of these stories deserve daylight. The first thing you need to understand is that Toyota reliability doesn't fail suddenly. It gets chipped away, slowly, often expensively. One of the most dangerous ways that happens is through counterfeit parts being sold as genuine Toyota parts. This isn't some online-only problem anymore. I've held these parts in my hands. Boxes that look right. Logos that look right. Part numbers copied directly from Toyota catalogs. On the outside, everything appears legitimate. Then you open it. The material feels wrong, lighter than it should be. Rough edges where there shouldn't be any. Internals that clearly haven't been tested to Toyota tolerances. These parts aren't engineered for longevity. They're engineered to pass a glance. Industry estimates put counterfeit auto parts at over $3 billion a year in losses. That number doesn't include the secondary damage. Fake brake pads that crumble under heat, oil filters that collapse early and starve an engine, sensors that send incorrect signals and trigger drivability issues that weren't there before. I've seen fake brake components fail during hard stops. I've seen counterfeit airbags that deploy late or not at all. And I've seen Toyota engines destroyed because a cheap filter bypassed oil under load. All of it avoidable. What makes this worse is that many owners paid full Toyota pricing, assuming the part was genuine. At $280, a sensor that should last years fails in months. At $400, brake job feels wrong almost immediately. When you come back, the blame quietly shifts to conditions or wear patterns. Toyota reliability depends on real parts, tested and traceable through Toyota's supply chain. Genuine parts come sealed, labeled clearly, documented. If a service center won't show you the packaging, won't provide a part number, or brushes off questions, that's not confidence, that's avoidance. If the price seems unrealistically cheap, that's also a warning. Toyota parts are rarely the cheapest option. They're built to last, not to win a bidding war. The second trap I see constantly is what I call the lifetime warranty bait and switch. It sounds comforting. You replace a part, maybe an alternator on a Camry, maybe brake pads or a hybrid cooling component. The advisor smiles and says it's covered for life. That word sticks. Lifetime. What most owners don't realize is that lifetime almost never means what they think it does. The fine print usually says the warranty only applies if every single service is performed at that same dealership. Miss one oil change, visit an independent shop once, do your own basic maintenance. The coverage disappears. I've watched owners come back with failed parts they already paid premium prices for, only to be denied coverage because one oil change was done elsewhere. An alternator that was replaced once costs $650 becomes another bill for $650 a few years later. Same part. Same car. Different explanations. This isn't about protecting your Toyota, it's about locking you into high-cost service habits. Toyota's actual parts warranties are typically nationwide and clearly defined. They don't hinge on loyalty tests. If a warranty depends on where you service your car rather than the quality of the part itself, that's not protection. That's leverage. Always ask for the written terms. Read them. If it feels conditional, it is. The third issue starts quietly and ends expensively. Back-ordered part price hikes. You're told a part is unavailable. A control module. A RAV4 hybrid component. A sensor assembly. The quote comes in high but tolerable. Maybe $1,800. You agree because the car is down. Weeks pass. Then the call comes. The part arrived, but prices went up. Now it's $2,400. Here's what many owners don't know. When a Toyota part is ordered, the price is supposed to be locked at the time of order. Sudden increases often have nothing to do with Toyota at all. They happen because the car has been sitting, and urgency replaces caution. I've confirmed this firsthand. Same part. Same VIN. Different dealer. Hundreds of dollars difference. The protection is simple. Get a written quote when the part is ordered. Part number. Date. Price. If it changes, ask why. Call another Toyota dealer and verify. If the gap is large, someone is inflating the situation. Toyotas are engineered to last a long time. That longevity only works if the service side doesn't quietly undo it. And this is just the beginning of how that happens. Another place Toyota owners get trapped is through technical language that sounds serious but means very little. Modern Toyotas are packed with electronics, sensors, modules, software layers stacked on top of conservative mechanical designs. That complexity creates a gap between what owners know and what service advisors can claim, and some advisors use that gap intentionally. I've heard it phrased 100 different ways. Valve train timing irregularities, electronic communication faults, advanced diagnostic findings. The words sound heavy. They sound expensive. They're meant to. What's usually happening is much simpler. I've had owners come into my shop stressed, convinced their Toyota was on the edge of failure. They were quoted $2,800, even $3,400, sometimes more. Once the hood came up, the reality didn't match the fear. A dirty mass airflow sensor, a loose connector, a software hiccup that cleared with a reset. Repairs measured in minutes, not thousands. Toyota designs systems with redundancy. When something is truly wrong, warning lights stay on. Drivability changes are consistent. Catastrophic failures don't hide quietly behind jargon. A trustworthy mechanic can explain any issue in plain language. If someone can't, or won't, break it down simply, that's a red flag. Confusion creates compliance. Fear speeds approval. You don't need to know everything about your Toyota. You just need enough understanding to stop someone from hiding behind vocabulary. Another pattern that shows up constantly is the inspection ambush. A Toyota goes in driving perfectly fine. No noises, no lights, no complaints. That's common. Most Toyotas are engineered to run 200,000 miles or more with basic maintenance. They don't fall apart overnight. Then the inspection report comes back. Suddenly there's a long list of urgent items. Brake systems flagged red. Suspension components marked unsafe. Oil seepage labeled a major leak. The estimate lands heavy, often $2,000 to $4,000, sometimes more. I've seen brake pads with half their life remaining turned into full brake overhauls. Rotors replaced just in case. Normal aging seals described as failures. Light oil misting on older engines, something Toyota engineers expect and account for, treated like a ticking time bomb. In my own shop, I've cleared Toyotas that were told they weren't safe to drive. Same car, same mileage, completely different conclusion. The goal here is pressure. Urgency shortens decision-making. It discourages second opinions. The fix is simple but uncomfortable. Slow the process down. Ask what's actually failed versus what's being recommended. Ask what happens if you wait. And for anything expensive, get another set of eyes from someone who knows Toyota specifically. Toyota longevity doesn't come from replacing everything early. It comes from knowing what actually matters. Then there's a quieter tactic that causes long-term problems: VIN phishing. It usually starts innocently. Someone selling a part asks for your VIN to confirm fitment. That sounds reasonable. The VIN does identify engine options and production details. But in the wrong hands, that 17-character code opens doors most owners don't realize exist. Once scammers have your VIN, they can clone your vehicle's identity. Fake listings. Fake service offers. Targeted warranty calls that reference your exact model and year. I've had owners tell me the calls started within days. Some even found online listings using their VIN and photos. The reason it works is trust. Asking for a VIN feels professional. Scammers use that to build legitimacy before pushing warranty plans, paperwork fees, or fake protection packages that cost hundreds up front and deliver nothing. Once a VIN is out there, you can't fully pull it back. Only give your full VIN to trusted sources. Official dealers, reputable parts stores, verified sellers with long histories. In private sales or online groups, offer a partial VIN or ask for part number confirmation instead. That usually solves fitment without handing over everything. Never share photos of your registration or title. And never pay warranty or registration fees through Zelle, Cash App, or similar methods. Those are favorite exits for scams. Another small but incredibly common charge that adds up is the phantom cabin air filter replacement. This one happens constantly during routine Toyota visits. You go in for an oil change. That's it. Then you're told your cabin filter is completely clogged and needs immediate replacement. Sometimes you're shown a photo of a dusty filter to reinforce urgency. What most owners don't know is that the filter in the photo often isn't theirs. Then comes the charge. $60, $70, sometimes $80. Here's the reality. On most Toyotas, changing a cabin filter takes about 5 minutes. The part itself costs around $15. Toyota's own schedules typically recommend replacement every 15 to 30,000 miles, not every oil change. I've opened glove boxes for customers who paid for replacements and found the old filter still sitting there. In other cases, a cheap aftermarket filter was installed while the invoice listed a genuine Toyota part. Always ask to see the filter that came out of your car. If they can't show it to you, that answers the question. And then there's one of the more deceptive practices I've seen grow quietly over the years: Reboxed aftermarket parts sold as genuine Toyota parts. You're told a part is ohm. Toyota pricing follows. Maybe $220 for a sensor, $320 for a bearing. Everything sounds official. Later, you find out an aftermarket part was installed that cost $30 to $60. Same function, lower quality, shorter lifespan. The only difference was the box it came in. Most owners never inspect packaging. They trust the counter. Stickers and labels create confidence, until the part fails early and causes secondary issues that cost even more to fix. Genuine Toyota parts come in sealed boxes with consistent branding and traceable part numbers. Ask to see the box before installation. Write the part number down. Compare prices with another Toyota dealer if something feels off. A real Toyota part feels different. Heavier. Cleaner machining. Better finish. Toyota tolerances matter. When those tolerances aren't met, small failures turn into big bills. Toyota engineering is conservative for a reason. It's designed to give you time. Time to notice issues. Time to decide. Time to avoid panic. Service center pressure takes that time away. And that's where the real damage happens. By the time most Toyota owners realize something wasn't right, the damage is already done. Not because the car failed them, but because trust was misplaced at the wrong moment. Toyota engineering is conservative by design. It gives owners margin, time, forgiveness. What shortens that lifespan isn't mileage. It's unnecessary intervention. One of the most expensive lessons I see comes from services that were never required in the first place. Transmission services on sealed units. Fuel system cleanings on engines that don't suffer from injector buildup. Brake flushes sold on schedule rather than condition. Each one sounds harmless on its own. Together, they add up to thousands of dollars spent solving problems that didn't exist. I've seen RAV4 owners charged $400 to $600 for fluid services Toyota never specified for their model year. I've seen hybrid owners pushed into cooling system services early, despite clean diagnostics and no overheating data. When those systems later develop issues, the service history becomes a liability instead of protection. Toyota builds systems to operate within very specific tolerances. When you disturb those systems without a reason, you introduce variables Toyota never engineered around. Another pattern that doesn't get talked about enough is service stacking. An owner goes in for one issue. A light, a noise, something minor. By the time the visit ends, the invoice includes 3 or 4 additional recommended services, none of them urgent on their own. all of them framed as preventative. Preventative maintenance only works when it's actually preventative, not when it's speculative. I've reviewed invoices where a simple check engine light turned into $2,700 worth of add-ons. Throttle body cleaning, injector service, cabin filter, engine air filter, brake service flagged yellow but billed red. The owner didn't feel pressured, they felt informed. That's what makes it effective. Toyota engines don't need constant intervention, they need consistency. Oil changes done correctly, coolant left alone unless contaminated, transmission serviced only when specified, brake systems inspected honestly. Every unnecessary service increases the chance something goes wrong later. A stripped bolt, a contaminated fluid, a miscalibrated sensor. Small mistakes compound. Then there's the emotional side of it. Owners who feel burned don't always complain. They stop trusting. They delay maintenance. They assume every recommendation is a scam. That's when real issues get ignored. The irony is that Toyota reliability survives in spite of bad service advice more often than because of it. I've seen Camrys and RAV4s cross 300,000 miles on basic maintenance done carefully and sparingly. I've also seen low-mileage Toyotas develop expensive problems because they were over-serviced early. The difference wasn't luck, it was restraint. If you want your Toyota to last, the most important skill isn't knowing everything. It's knowing when to pause. Ask why a service is needed. Ask what happens if you wait. Ask if the recommendation is based on mileage, condition, or policy. A real explanation doesn't get defensive. It gets clearer. For major repairs, always verify part numbers and prices. Toyota dealer pricing is surprisingly consistent across regions. If one estimate is hundreds higher than another for the same part, that gap deserves an explanation. Keep your paperwork. Not just receipts, but part numbers and dates. When something fails later, documentation matters more than opinions. And don't underestimate second opinions. A Toyota-specific independent shop often has more incentive to be honest than a high-volume service lane. They see what fails. They also see what doesn't. If something feels rushed, it probably is. Toyota engineering wasn't rushed. The service decision shouldn't be either. One thing I always tell owners is this: your Toyota will usually tell you when it needs help. Warning lights stay on. Changes are consistent. Problems don't come and go dramatically without reason. Service centers that rely on urgency and fear know that most people won't push back. They count on discomfort, on confusion, on the assumption that more service equals more care. That's not how Toyotas are built. They're built to be boring in the best way possible. Predictable, durable, forgiving. When treated properly, they give you time to think instead of forcing decisions. If this video helped you rethink a past service visit or made you reconsider something you were told recently, that's the point. Quiet information lasts longer than loud warnings. And if you've had a Toyota service experience that didn't sit right, tell me what happened and what you drive. I see every comment, and more often than not, someone else is about to walk into the same situation. The car usually isn't the problem. It's everything wrapped around it.